Hi, welcome to the Frugal Frau. I'm Sukey, your host. And today we're going to show you how we joint two boards together to make a wide board, and we're going to do it with just simple hand tools. And the reason why we're going to do that is because sometimes you need a wider piece of wood for your project. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps the channel out. Thank you. Choose your boards. Same species is not necessary. We have very mineral stained pine offcuts from a local mill that we purchased by the palletful. They were approximately 19 inches to 3 foot length pieces. We are going to make a series of raised panels for above our entryway bench, and they will be painted, therefore the mineral stains are not a problem. We have already hand flattened and roughly squared the long edges with the surfaces. You can see the long edges actually do not line up, so our first job is to square up the long edges much better so they align much more closely. We have also ripped one of the boards down so that our final board after jointing will be the width that we need for our project. Before squaring up the long edges, Tom places his alignment marks across the boards. The alignment lines are drawn so one is perpendicular to the board width and the other crosses the board width at an angle. This prevents any misalignment and avoids confusion that can occur with two parallel lines. Here I have drawn red lines on a photo to clearly show the alignment lines. The red arrow points to the wavy edge of this board which we are about to square. The horizontal lines are there to show the upward to the left grain direction. There is much less wood tear out if you plane your wood uphill with the grain. In this photo, that would be right to left. We always square our wood edges to the back side of the board. We do it this way because often we plane the front-facing surface last, and also because we make all of our depth measurements from the back side of the board. Develop consistent methods for doing things so that you can prevent many errors. For this demonstration, Tom will only use his jack plane for squaring the edge. It is easier to start the planing by running the plane at an angle to the edge, as you can see here. Now Tom eyeballs the edge to find the more obvious high spots. Once he has gotten the high spots removed, he can then plane straight down the edge. Since you are squaring the edge, keep the sole of the plane flat on the edge and perpendicular to the board face. Continue to check the edge for any hills. With practice, your eye becomes quite adept at this. You will notice Tom keeps adjusting the blade. There's a little knob on it to keep it from cutting too deeply. And as he proceeds, he cuts less and less off, and he's getting quite thin shavings now. Tom used a small chisel or awl to clear debris from the throat of the plane. Do this to keep your blade from bouncing over the wood and to keep your cuts very clean. Note how Tom uses his finger to mark a slight high spot, which he then planes off. He may have to repeat that process several times. When the board edge begins to appear quite flat, then run the bench square down the length. Note how Tom will square this off of the back side. If necessary, repeat this process with the other board. You can keep checking for alignment. He's already checked, and they did align very well. So now he can begin to glue the boards together. He has the back side against the clamps because that way they're level. And this also keeps the boards from twisting because you don't want them to twist while you glue them together. The pipe clamps are very handy for this process. Tom simply uses some shavings from the floor to smooth out the glue and wipe off any excess. He aligns the boards carefully using his alignment lines, which are not very clear in this picture, but they are there. Once the alignment is good, tighten the clamps. Leave this sit for about an hour or two, and then you can unclamp it and begin to form the board into whatever it is you're going to make. Don't forget to wipe off the excess glue that has oozed from the joint. Do this also on the back side. The glue has dried and the boards have been unclamped. For the final preparation to use this jointed board in your project, smooth the front face. Tom simply uses his jack plane again, demonstrating that you don't need a whole bucket load of planes to do this.